How's it going today, guys? Welcome to Pulaski. This is a brand new City Skylines series that I'm quite frankly very excited about. I've been brainstorming and tampering with so many different themed builds for a few months now. Finally, I decided on Pulaski. Now, Pulaski is based on northern Delaware, mainly Hockessin and Newark, as well as lower Pennsylvania, areas like Gap, Lancaster, etc. As you can probably tell by now, this build is not going to be a huge city, rather a fairly large town with some outlying villages. The map I chose for the series is Reverend Valley, Vermont, designed by Apple in the Steam Workshop. I really enjoy this map because it's not like the typical ones that you find anymore. For starters, it's inland with mountains surrounding. It also uses these national highways for mass transit instead of freeways, which I also enjoy because it means that we get to create our own highway system. So hooray for that. Not so much since these roads are the mass transit ones, which means unfortunately we need to convert them to NEXT roads or else it won't have the American road textures. Getting into the video now, we're starting on our first highway. This is basically going to be a bypass road of Pulaski. This being based off of a Pennsylvanian / Delawarean town, I felt that a bypass highway would be necessary to keep traffic out of the local roads. You may notice in this video there's a lot of traffic in downtown, which is the exact reason why. There will be a bypass of Pulaski going from east to west, which is based vaguely off the High-Town bypass here in New Jersey. This will clear a lot of traffic out of the town without deserting it. I originally wanted the highway to be similar to the New Jersey Turnpike. It'd be a lot wider, 12 lanes give or take. However, there wasn't really all that much room to do something like that, so we're just going to stick with a little 4-lane highway. Moving on to my plans for the series, it's basically to create a sustainable region, I guess you could say. Sort of like Arrowhead Junction was. You have a big major city as well as some outlying areas. I plan on building a nuclear plant at some point, as well as some other things such as refineries, farms, villages, historical tourism areas, etc. The series will probably be about 20 to 25 episodes long, so it'll definitely take some time. One of my main goals with the series is to make it as detailed as possible. The detailing you're seeing in this episode is only just the beginning. I won't doubt we'll hit the plot limit near the end of the series. We'll see. I have high hopes for this series. I've been wanting to make a new series for a long time now, but I've never found one that I've wanted to stick to. That's why I lit up when I found this map. It's what I've wanted to do for a long time. Inland, mountains, a river, plenty of open space, and no predetermined highway network. Building this highway was really satisfying because you were basically just following the national roads that were already built, but you don't have to worry about having to build around all these freeways like the default 3-lane highway that comes with the game. You don't have to worry about building around all of them, which was really nice because it means that we got to build our own system. We're not even finished, so we're going to definitely have a pretty big highway system just running around, basically working as bypasses for these national roads, because here in lower Pennsylvania, or basically the Delaware Valley, we don't really have a lot of interstates besides, you know, the big ones going through, such as 95, 295, 76. So you have a lot of these bypass roads, which are these small little portions of state highways or, you know, national highways, which run around towns basically. So they're fairly short, give or take 5-10 miles. Basically what they do is they get traffic out of towns and they have them on the highway, so anybody who's just trying to go around can go around with it being stopped. So when you're on the highway, you don't have to worry about traffic lights, obviously. Now, there are some where there are, like, at-grade intersections. Usually it's not until the end of the bypasses, most of them now are to freeway standards, and it's kind of just been a bit of a trend anymore because it's the best way to go. You don't really want that traffic stopping because that's going to create problems, not only for people trying to go past the town, but people going into the town. But this is going to keep all the quote-unquote driving out of the city people out of the city, and it'll keep them on the roads. And, you know, like I said, I originally wanted this to be sort of like a turnpike, but eventually I just kind of settled on making a bit of a bypass because we kind of ran out of room with basically what a lot of people do with City Skylines maps is only like have on, because not everybody uses 81 tiles. That's basically what I'm trying to say. So you have the outskirts of the map where the road just kind of meanders through the mountains. So we would need a lot of terraforming to have the highway extend all the way out. But it's all good though. I think the idea of just the bypasses kind of brings out more of the Pennsylvania feel to it. I was about to say Philadelphia. But as you can see, this is what the highway was looking like. Just kind of cuts through the land. You could kind of tell that it just kind of cut through and was built to get traffic out of the city. And that's one of the things that I wanted to go with this basically a highway extension or bypass, whatever you really want to call it. Now here we're starting on the Heightstown bypass, or well, not the Heightstown bypass, the Pulaski bypass, I guess it would called. I actually think that exists somewhere. I'm thinking it exists around here. But I know I got the name Pulaski, so that's actually a pretty common name for anything in the Northeast. There's the Pulaski Skyway, there's a lot of stuff named it around here. But I actually got the name based off of a town in Virginia called Pulaski. And this series was actually originally going to be based off of Roanoke in Virginia. But I chose to base it off of Pennsylvania, Lancaster, all that. Because it's close to home. I'm kind of, used to what it would look like. So I'd have a better chance at making something that looked more decent than, say, if I built, I don't know, like a Florida town or something. Which actually, I was actually working on a California series, but then I kind of dropped it. I mean, the whole California series thing's being used by some YouTubers right now, so I wanted to do something that you don't really see, and Pennsylvania/Delaware is what I went with. Quite frankly, I'm the only person in the City Skylines YouTuber community that does Delaware-inspired builds. So what I'm working on now is a bit of a development. You're going to see a lot of these on the outskirts of Pulaski, because that's just how it is here. We have a lot of developments on the outskirts of like the old historic downtowns. So I wanted to recreate that in City Skylines. So you're going to see a lot of that on the outskirts, not necessarily near the town. Because most of these developments, people want their privacy. They want to be away from everything. Which is kind of ironic because they're right next to the the highway, but you see that sometimes around here as well, where they've built these bypasses and people are really close to it, especially with the New Jersey Turnpike. I mean, you cross over some overpasses, you're crossing right through a development. So that's something I wanted to recreate with this build. So what do I have planned as a schedule? Well, I want the debut video, which is the video you're watching right now, to go out on Monday, which you hopefully are watching it on a Monday. But I plan on this coming out every Saturday, around like 9 a.m. in the morning, maybe 10 a.m. in the morning, I'm not sure yet. But I plan on releasing this every Saturday, or at least hope to release every Saturday. I'm sure there could be, a week delay sometimes. but it shouldn't be a big deal. Anywho, we're just basically filling in some vegetation here in the development, and I know a lot of this is actually just going to be placing down manicured grass props, which looked really nice at the end, so that was all in all pretty nice. Anyways, I'm going to leave you guys with some music for a while, and then I'll catch you guys when we start working on Pulaski, because most of this is just going to be placing down some development stuff and building the highway out a little bigger. Anyways, I'll see you guys in about a couple of minutes. Alrighty, now we're moving on to downtown Pulaski, and as you'll see in Pulaski, it's going to be more of a historical town. I almost think of like Gettysburg or downtown Vineland, somewhere around there. But I actually took a lot of inspiration from Press's Nevada series with the downtown segment, where we have parking on the side. I know he did sort of like diagonal parking, or like the what's it called? I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. It's like it's bay parking or something. Parking. I don't know. But I took a lot of inspiration from that. I did like a parallel parking instead. But I kind of went for a like a Brooklyn feel to the downtown, if that makes sense. Given this is a old town, I want it to kind of have the feel that there's obviously old buildings in an old town. But on top of that, though, you also have the bypass here, which is being built. So we kind of have this weird hybrid of like a diamond, a parklow, and a normal cloverleaf, which looks a bit funky. Obviously, it's going to be revised. That's not the finished product, so don't worry. But now we're moving on to just kind of detailing the roads and making them kind of fit the thing that they're in, if that makes sense. Because right here we have a bit of a like a fork in the road where it's coming up to that square that we have downtown. So it's a bit interesting, and I definitely have to tweak some things. But other than that, we're really just going to be working on downtown, doing some detailing. There's not really all much I could say. If you guys did enjoy this, then definitely be sure to leave a like. As I said, I plan on releasing this every Saturday, so be sure to subscribe and hit that bell to stay updated when this goes live, because there may be some times where I don't release this on the Saturday that I have planned. One last thing I actually wanted to point out, I was really enjoying these turning lanes that I built. They were really satisfying to look at, which you guys saw in the cinematics. But anyway, moving on to what I was saying, be sure to subscribe, be sure to leave a like on the video, and as always, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a good one.